how we live by time, how we live by the watch, the clock. We're brought up to the clock. We're brought up to respect the clock, admire the clock. Punctuality. We live a life to the clock. All right? You wait to the clock. You go to work to the clock. You clock in to the clock. You clock out to the clock. You come home to the clock. You eat to the clock. You drink to the clock. You go to bed to the clock. You get up to the clock. You go back to work to the clock. You do that for 40 years of your life. You retire. What they fucking give you? A clock.
I could be out of a job by Friday.
The morality of work is morality of slaves.
The idea of inequality of any sort, pay, respect, any of it, to me is abhorrent.
Tommy Boy!
It's true what they say, you know. The grass is always so much greener in Black Rock.
Black Rock would not be the same without you.
For those of you who don't know, CV stands for Curriculum Vitae, which literally translates from the Latin meaning of course of life. Well, that's what Google Translate tells me anyways.
Put in a little elbow grease and your efforts will be rewarded.
There's no phone line to rat out bankers. There's no phone line to rat out corruption at all the various different levels.
I don't actually think that's the state's responsibility, to be honest.
That the former CEO has behaved disgracefully today.
Why do us poor people want holidays? We want to work.
In that we'll be able to plan for the future and we'll be in a cycle of long-term planning because that's the business we're in.
G Forbes Director General Gurmil Mahmoud.
I don't know what my exact salary is off the top of my head. I believe my salary is around 200,000 base salary.
The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes.
The extraordinary thing about Ireland is that it's simultaneously bankrupt and a tax haven.
The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all of the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. Keep them showing up at those jobs.
People have jobs today in our society. Almost without exception, they consider it legitimate for them to be in a position where they have to rent themselves in order to survive.
Divide and conquer, but it's not divide and conquer. It's divide and rule.
That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club.
I've become a kind of anarchist, you know. I think roughly the desire to be a politician should bar you for life from ever being one. Whether it's watching them, don't vote, it encourages them.